Hey, if I could go back to 2019 when I did my long water fast, the biggest thing that I would change probably wouldn't be what I ate before I entered the fast. And it wouldn't even be how I broke the fast, although I broke that fast very wrong. But it would be electrolytes. And I often hear so many people in the fasting world just throw that term out. Electrolytes, make sure you take your electrolytes. Electrolytes. But nobody really explains what it is or what it does for you. So over the years, I've had to learn the hard way. So I want to help you, and hopefully my knowledge of what I've found and what's working for me can help you out in some way, shape, or form. Um, I've done a lot of research. Not, and I will also say, other than research, there's been a lot of trial and error. In my first, I would say, long fast, when I got seriously into water fasting, which wasn't actually for weight loss, although I always say weight loss was a great side effect. It was actually for spiritual reasons. I was seeking God. But what I learned since I started fasting, I'm sorry, no, that's not what I was about to say. What I was about to say was, in 2019, if you watch the video that I did, you will see that I was so depleted. I talk about how I was tired, I was dizzy, like so many things that I could have avoided if someone had explained exactly what electrolytes are, what they do, what the water fast would feel like if you don't have them. So I wanted to be the one to help somebody else on their journey of fasting, whether it's for spiritual reasons, whether it is for fitness. Let me lower this. I feel like my camera's a little foggy. It was. Okay. So whether it's for religious reasons, whether it is for fitness, fasting should not be so hard to stick to, no matter how much like willpower you have. It shouldn't be that difficult to stick to. So hopefully what I've learned and what I've come up with will help you on your fasting journey. So what I'm going to do is share my screen with you. Give me one quick second. Here we go. It's been a couple of days. All right, so let's talk about what electrolytes are. So electrolytes are minerals that controls things like hydration. So you don't only get hydration from water. So minerals it controls things like hydration, nerve signals, muscle movement, heart rhythm, and energy. So when we're water fasting, we're not getting these things from food. And really, because a lot of times we eat so poorly, we're not getting those things from food anyway, but especially when water fasting. And if we don't replace them, our bodies will start to struggle. And that's even if we have strong willpower. So electrolytes are very important. Disclaimer, before we go any further, I'm not a doctor. I am just simply sharing with you what's helped me, what I'm currently doing, and prayerfully, if you decide to, use me as an example, or prayerfully it just helps you in your journey somehow, some way. But I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional, anything like that. It's just my experience. Okay, what are electrolytes? They're minerals that carry an electrical charge in the body, such as sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride, phosphate, etc. The big three that I'm focusing on while I'm water fasting or fasting in general, because when you're fasting, it doesn't have to only be water fasting. There's been liquid fast that I do as well. And when I say liquid, I mean like protein shakes, things like that. So, but the big three that I'm now focusing on is sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So let's first talk about the sodium. For me, I'm doing pink Himalayan salt. So what does it do? It maintains fluid balance. Fluid balance. Your body regulates the right amount of water inside your cells and bloodstream. It helps prevent dizziness and headaches. If you go back to my video where I was talking about my water fast that I did for 21 days, I talk about, as a matter of fact, I think it's the follow-up video where I show the receipts of the fast, where I talk about like, I was so dizzy. I was getting up out the shower, like seeing stars. I think I almost fell out, but the bed was right there. So I just kind of laid on the bed. So pink Himalayan salt is going to help prevent dizziness and headaches. And I will also say this. I did a 5-day water fast last week because right now I'm smack dab on day 2 of the 5-2 challenge. And if you don't know what that is, that's when you water fast for 5 days and then you eat for 2 days. Give me one second. Let me check something here. Okay, perfect. And then you eat for 2 days. Well, while I did that fast last week, it was the first time I did the pink Himalayan salt. 0 dizziness, 0 headaches. I was shocked. I was shocked by how easy last week went. I actually did not get hungry or anything. I had maybe one craving one day, if I'm not mistaken, but it was by far the easiest water fast I've ever done. And so I can testify to the fact that pink Himalayan salt does help prevent dizziness and headaches. What else does it do? It also supports blood pressure during fasting. So generally healthy people, not those on blood pressure affecting medications. Now, let's go a little deeper on that part of things, especially if you are someone or you know someone that's on medication, but they're like, I want to fast. Let's get a little more information on our bodies because this matters. When we fast, insulin drops, sodium in water is released more quickly, blood volume can decrease, and that can cause blood pressure to drop, especially in healthy people. So sodium can help support blood pressure in that context by maintaining blood volume and reducing dizziness or lightheadedness. For people on medications, that's like blood pressure meds, diuretics, heart meds, certain kidney-related meds, sodium, potassium, and magnesium can interact with how these medications work and change blood pressure in unpredictable ways. So you just want to use a lot of caution, possibly talk to your doctor. I don't even know what advice I would give if you're on medication. Because my mama, she was on a whole lot of medication before she passed. And I know what I would suggest to her, but I'm not going to suggest anything. But I would just say if you're considering fasting and you're on medication, that you would probably need to do more research for yourself or talk to your doctor or something like that, because water fasting is a serious thing. So we want to be smart when we're doing it. Okay, so without pink Himalayan salt, you might be lightheaded, weak, or shaky. I was definitely weak. I was never shaky, and extremely fatigued. So even on my water fast in 2019, the longest one I've ever done, I was never shaky. Definitely lightheaded, definitely weak, and extremely fatigued. With the salt, your energy will be more stable. Your workouts will be better. If you don't know, I love to work out. I love strength training. So I'm in the gym every morning. I get up at 4:15 and I'm at the gym by 5 a.m. And today I only did 15 minutes cardio, and that's on the elliptical. And then I did 45 minutes strength training. So I love to work out, but most mornings I do about 30 minutes on the elliptical, 30 minutes strength training, but it helps you have better workouts. With it, there's fewer hunger waves caused by dehydration. And I will say this, because today, like I was saying earlier, I'm in the second week of my 5-2, because I did not finish explaining that. So with the 5-2 that I'm on, I'm doing 2 rounds of it. So last week was my first round. This week is my second round. And I will say that this week, last week, there was no hunger really. This week, there has been a whole lot of hunger. But I'm also adding other things to my in my regimen of electrolytes, which we're going to talk about soon. But I'm thinking that I'm probably just not having enough water, because it could be that I'm dehydrated, that I'm getting more hunger cravings or waves. So next we'll talk about potassium. So what it does is supports muscle function. It helps prevent cramping, because there can be cramping in the muscles. And it balances sodium levels. So the pink Himalayan salt does not only help when it comes to the sodium, this potassium chloride helps as well. And I actually found mine on Amazon, had it, shipped overnight, and it's on its way now. But I can link what I'm taking in the description. And if you're interested in taking what I'm taking, you can, get what I'm getting, or you can choose whatever you want. But potassium chloride, this is what it does. Without it, there can be muscle cramps. I can honestly say, I don't think I've ever experienced any muscle cramps while fasting. Yeah, I don't remember ever experiencing that. But weakness for sure, heavy, tired legs, not that I can recall, but without the potassium chloride, you could experience that. Now, with it, there's smoother movement, there's better training days. My training last week was good up until like the fifth day. I didn't even go to the gym, because I was like, I'm just going to be smart. I didn't even know what to expect. And there's less physical stress. So there's less stress in the body when you're taking potassium chloride. Lastly, there's magnesium. What it does is support nerve function. It helps you sleep better. Let's pause there, because the sleeping, I remember this back in 2019. I remember this with all of the other kind of long fasts I've done since then. Once you get to a certain point, like sleep, it leaves. There was nights just last week, I was up to like 1 a.m, maybe even 1:30, because I just couldn't sleep. And then I would still get up 4:15, and I would be cool because I just wasn't sleepy. I would still go to the gym and do, all the things. But with it, I mean, what it does, it relaxes your muscles. It calms your nervous system. Without it, there's restlessness. And I've experienced that multiple times. And I've been fasting since 2019, off and on. That's a real deal. So I'm really excited to see how the potassium and the magnesium is going to change how I feel. And if you don't know, I am documenting this week as well. I weigh in again on Saturday. And so I'm actually traveling for my son's wedding, but I'm going to take my scale, because I think it's important to weigh yourself on the same scale, especially when you're documenting. So I'm going to take my scale with me, and I'm going to let y'all know how much I lost for the week. But last week, during the 5 days, I lost 12 pounds. Of course, when you eat, although I ate sensibly, you're going to gain a little bit. So when I weighed myself again on Monday, I was up to 184. So I gained 5 pounds. And Saturday, we'll see what I'm down to. And I will be uploading the video on Saturday, because I'm already pre-editing it. So that all I have to do is just put the clips in from my after weight and the picture. But all right, continuing. Without it, there's tight muscles and there's increased irritability. That irritability part, especially my first long fast, because of course I'm doing it for spiritual reasons, right? I'm praying. I'm doing all of this stuff you should be doing if you're water fasting and seeking God, right? But man, I am like my husband. I'm wanting to bite his head off. The kids, I'm like, can y'all go sit down? So if especially if you got a family, especially if you have to be around people, you might want to get this here potassium to just help with that irritability. With it, there's better sleep. I'm so looking forward to that. And I can't wait to tell. I will tell y'all when I record on Saturday. Well, actually, I'll document it when I record the rest of the week and let y'all know if I feel a difference in my body. But you're supposed to. So there's better sleep. Your mind is a lot calmer, and there's smoother fasting days. So your fasting days are a lot smoother. How much should you take? That's going to vary from person to person because everyone's needs are different. But I would say just do like I did. Just research it. What will be best for your body, your situation, your life, and go from there. Just be smart. Quickly, I want to pause right here and I want to say this. Be very, very careful. If you're going to use the products that I'm using with the magnesium and the potassium, especially the potassium, be very, very careful with the dosage that you use because it's very potent. So it's really easy to have too much. So just be very, very careful with that. All right, let's continue. So with and without electrolytes, with it, there's fatigue, there's dizziness, there's cravings, there's poor sleep. Your workouts are hard. When I did my first water fast in 2019, I really don't even remember if I exercised. I probably did starting out, but I really don't remember. With electrolytes, your energy is stable. You have a clear mind. You're better hydrated, so there's better hydration. Your training is stronger, so it's stronger training. And your days of fasting are just a lot easier. And isn't that what we want? We want easier fasting. All right, let me turn my screen off here. Okay, so it's off. All right, 1 second here. All right, so if you're fasting or if you're struggling with willpower, even if you're thinking about fasting, but if you're struggling with willpower and you're like, God, dog, what am I doing wrong? It could be that you're not even doing anything wrong, that your body's just needing some minerals. So consider salt, so sodium, potassium, magnesium. Consider those things. That's what I wish I knew back in 2019 during my 21-day water fast. Prayerfully, this video helped you. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also share with somebody else that's, venturing out on this here water fasting journey. Thank you so much for your time. You have an amazing day. God bless. Bye. Boom, boom, boom.